So from here, you grab the collars. Notice how I'm propping. Here, let's turn just a bit. Notice how I'm propping against his arm to prevent him from posting with it. Now I'm going to drive off my right leg, explode him off to the side here. Okay, from this position, I settle in for a kame shiogatame. And this grip makes it very difficult for him to escape. Okay, it keeps his shoulders totally under control. Again, I've got a neck crank here. And again, you must be careful with it. If I pull in with the sleeves and drive forward with the shoulder, it can cause damage to the neck. So in competition and in practice, use this technique with great care. Once again, grabbing here, over, tuck, right from here. And that concludes the entries into hold downs for first degree black belt. Now we will continue with a few more entries into hold down techniques, this time from hands and knees bottom position. Okay, if I'm hands and knees bottom and the man flanks me and tries to put an arm around the waist to attempt a turnover, there's quite a few moves that we can do from here. The first one is to post here in front of his right foot and to grab with my own right hand, grab his left hand. All right, now at this point I'm going to drive my head down this way towards my own knee. Okay? And once I get to that point, I'll be pushing off with my leg to roll both bodies in this direction. And into my own hold down. Once again. He's flanking. You want to catch this as soon as he grabs you. You don't want to give him the opportunity to try his technique. Posting, tucking, and rolling. Another variation of that move is to use my left hand against his left hand, right here, catching it, using this hand to post, and around. Once again. Get used to doing these techniques blind, because you're not going to be able to see him. You just have to feel what he's doing and go from there. Once again from the other side. All right. Now here's one more technique. We've covered a lot of turnovers from hands and knees top, but here's one more for you that you can work with. Remember, for the showdown test, you're expected to know 4 turnover techniques from each of the 5 basic mat work positions. In this technique, what we're going to do is underhook both arms, grab up on the collars, and then bring them around to the side. So from here, you grab the collars. Notice how I'm propping. Here, let's turn just a bit. Notice how I'm propping against his arm to prevent him from posting with it. Now I'm going to drive off my right leg, explode him off to the side here. Okay, from this position, I settle in for a kame shiogatame. And this grip makes it very difficult for him to escape. Okay, it keeps his shoulders totally under control. Again, I've got a neck crank here. And again, you must be careful with it. If I pull in with the sleeves and drive forward with the shoulder, it can cause damage to the neck. So in competition and in practice, use this technique with great care. Once again, grabbing here, over, tuck, right from here. And that concludes the entries into hold downs for first degree black belt. Now we continue with shimiwaza, or choking technique. These are some of the advanced chokes that you need to know for first degree black belt. The first technique is a reverse of the naked strangle. And what I do is I put my chest on the back of his head as I underhook the neck. I'll try it from this side so you can see the motion of the hands. What I'll use is like a knife hand blade of my arm as it shoots through. A good trick to do on a technique like this, if a man tries to jam his chin, if you're in tournament, you're probably working hard. So wipe some of your own sweat onto your hand to slide through. Okay, keeping him trapped. Now I pull in with the choke. Okay, this applies pressure directly against the windpipe, so use it with great care. And another technique more against the carotids is to bring the elbow through a little deeper. All right. Now we're going to do another technique from the top in this position, and it's underhooking and getting the fingers inside the cross lapel, okay? Now at this point, all I have to do is to bring this in as I push down on his shoulder. And then I drive him forward and into the choke. Let's look at that again from a slightly different entry. This one, he's upright. I reach in and grab with fingers in. Pull him down hard. Make him post, that's fine. Now at this point, I've got a choke started already. To prevent him from rolling over this way, I take the shoulder and put a lot of pressure on it and bring both hands down to the mat. All right, this is a very effective choke for tournament. And once again, advancing, pulling down, trapping the shoulder, and bringing him in for the choke. Okay, all the mat work techniques you've seen in tapes up to this point and beyond should be practiced both right and left side. You're going to find that you're going to be stronger on throws to either one side or another. You should learn some throws on the weaker side, so you can always throw in a 360-degree angle. But when you're on the mat, you never know which side of your opponent you're going to be on. It's like fighting two cats fighting. So you have to know all your newaza, all your mat technique from both the right and left side. Okay, now we're going to move on to one more choke from the top in this position. And it's a variation of Okuri Irijime. You recall Okuri Irijime with sliding lapel choke, like this. Okay? We did it from a sitting position. Covered it a few tapes back. It was here and here. All right, for this version, Koshijime, I get these grips, bring them down, and put my hip forward to make the choke. The pressure of the hip further amplifies the effect of the choke. Once again, from a hands and knees position, I reach through here, let the hip come forward, bring him down to the mat. Again, that's Koshijime. Now, for self-defense version of Hadaka-jime. Hadaka-jime naked strangle is the technique that we learned as our first choke. And what we did is we braced the back of his neck against our shoulder. For the self-defense version, what we're going to do is put the back of his neck at the front of our head. And we're going to go against the windpipe. It's a very dangerous choke and can cause the windpipe to be crushed. So be very careful as you practice this. So as Lowell's sitting this way, arm comes around, the crown of the head is into the base of the neck. Grabbing the hands together and applying the pressure for the choke. Okay? This technique can be used in tournament if you're very careful, but you have to try to go for the carotid artery. Don't go for the windpipe, okay? No trophy is worth hurting a person like that. So from here, pull in. That's against the carotid. Directly across is against the windpipe. Okay? And whenever you train on this, don't apply pressure to the windpipe. Okay, that concludes the choking techniques required for Shodan. Now we move on to Kansetsu Waza, or joint locking technique. The first technique is Teigatami, or hand arm lock. The way to apply this technique is to extend the near arm, reach across and up high to the cross lapel. And what I want to do at this point is to push down on the wrist grip while I lift up the forearm. Okay, keeping a firm wrist on the cross lapel along his chest. What this will do is apply pressure against the elbow joint as an arm straightener lock against the elbow. Another variation of Teigatami is from a bent position where I bring it up into a hammer lock style and control this way. Now I can be on either side of him. I can be over here or I can be here. Okay? From the back, the results are all the same. Again, it's simply hand arm lock. All right, another nice variation is to put a true hammer lock on right there. Okay, the next Kansetsu Waza techniques will start from standing position and are used in self-defense. Now we'll apply a joint lock against the wrist. As you recall from a previous tape, Kotegaeshi, or minor wrist lock, is a takedown into itself. From this position, we want to take him onto his stomach. The way we'll do that is to keep the wrist bent firmly and to draw the arm out and walk over the head and then prop your shin into the back of his tricep. Tightly into the armpit, drawing the arm in and the wrist down. This is an excellent submission hold for self-defense. And it's also an excellent hold to take from a throwing position. For example, if I was to throw with a variation of Tai-Toshi, where I'm just doubling up here and attacking for self-defense. Keep the hand, bend it in, drive him across, turning. Now at this point the arm should be straight, because once you turn the hand out this way, it should lock the arm out straight. If you're pulling in at the base of the wrist and pushing down at the hand. Bring the knee in to the shoulder joint, and you've got a very secure hold. If he decides to bend his elbow, you've still got an effective lock by pushing down at the elbow and twisting in with the wrist and driving it forward. It's extremely painful. Let's see that technique again. Take the wrist, bend it, bring him across and down onto his stomach, and through to the lock. As he reaches, secure the hand, bend the wrist in. Drive him across, and brace into the lock. Now we move on to situational defenses, which are the primary form of practice in jiu-jitsu. In addition to encouraging you to join a judo club, I also encourage you to study as much jiu-jitsu as possible, as it is the root art of judo, and you're going to get a lot of insight by seeing how judo techniques and jiu-jitsu techniques intertwine to make a total fighting system. Alright, for this technique, it will be a defense against a front choke. The man applies the choke, and I'll use some striking technique. I'll strike across to the inside nerves of the forearm, and across to the other side, and to the chin. They're all open palm strikes. Get it before he gets a chance to put his neck on you. Alright? Now from this position, I can take a nice takedown just by keeping the leverage on his chin. Okay, keeping the leverage on his chin, coming forward, and pushing down. Once I've got this takedown, you'll notice he's turned out of it. I just bring the leg in to lock the leg, arch forward, grabbing the hair. Okay, it's an excellent submission technique, and you can hold someone like this for quite a while. Once again, as he reaches, strike, drive him down. If he turns, bend the leg in and into the leg lock. You'll notice I don't even have to grip him. But in a self-defense situation, you do want to secure and keep it in tight. There's no weapons left for him to attack me with. Watch again. Here's just another variation. Now continuing into situational defenses. As that applies a headlock, what I want to do is try to relieve the pressure as quickly as possible. What I'll do is overlap his hand and try to pull it away so it cannot capture my head. Okay, but if he does trap the head, if I'm not able to get away from it before he traps the head, what I can do, secure. what I can do is take my free hand, go up and over the top, grab his face, and pull his face back. Wheeling him down to the ground, gouging the eyes. And of course here, you have a smash kick to the short ribs, okay? And any kind of arm block you can apply. Once again, he secured it. It's too late to pull out of it, so now I have to attack him with my counter technique. Relieve the pressure, come up over the top, now bring him back. Arch your back and put your hip into him to cause him to bend backwards. Once you've got enough room free now to get your head loose, duck your chin and allow it to slide. And again, from here, we've got a lot of techniques. I can just take his wrist, keep it bent, drive him onto his stomach. And one last time. Secure, relieve the pressure first of all. Grab the face, bring him down. Okay, moving along to the next technique. Defenses against overarm and underarm bear hugs. The overarm bear hug is one where he traps both my arms. This is a technique where a good stamp kick to the shin can have a good effect. Okay, if I stamp and scrape along the shin, you'll want to pull that leg back. Okay, now he's opened up an area here. When he's opened up that area, he's given me an opportunity to throw. All right, now I have a place to set a driver leg. Okay? All right, that's one way to take him down. Many techniques we can use from here. Let's cover a few more. Once again, as he takes the lock, I can use strikes immediately to distract. Either headbutt with the back crown of my head, kick to the shin, throwing technique to the ground. Let's see a few more techniques from this position. Okay, what I can do is I can clasp fingers, peel the fingers back and out, go underneath the arm and bring it up behind his back. At this point I cross grab the shoulder and I keep him trapped so he can't turn either way. This is how the hand should be. Get at least 2 fingers when you take a finger grip. 2 is probably the optimum. 3 you may be able to fight, 1 is too weak. Once again, taking the fingers, peeling them back. You can wrap against the knuckles to release the grip even more. Underneath his arm, up and grab across the shoulder. A few more. Okay, from this position, what you can do is your hands are both free, so you can take advantage of that fact and do a crotch grab with either one. All right, at that point, most guys I know would just as soon let go of the bear hug. Okay? Other techniques from this position is a back lift kick to the groin and then into a throw. Again. Curl the kick in. Curl the kick in so you can get it. All right? You might want to kick and then follow up with an Uchimata. I crack the knuckles get the hands apart. Pull the wrists forward, curl kick, and then uchimata to the ground. The ground. Of course, strikes from here. One final technique from the overarm bear hug. As he grabs, before he can secure the grip, again with the knuckles, break the back of the hands to separate, at least to create a body gap. Once you get the body gap, sidestep and squat, get the foot and sit down onto the knee. Notice once I've bent the knee, I can bring it into a lock. From here, I sit right forward with it. As you can see, I've got him under control right here. He can't fight with that leg anymore, and he's fighting with only his hands, trying to support himself. Once again, this time I'll remain standing. Pulling him down, back stamp kick to the groin. One more time. Now we move on to the underarm bear hug. Okay, this one you have to watch out because you have less control over the pressure he exerts to your lungs. If he goes quickly, he'll suffocate you. So you want to get this off as quickly as possible. One of the easiest things to do is, again, peel away 2 fingers. This time, your elbow, which is over the top, is going to go just underneath. Just like that. Goes away and underneath. Bring it around. And grab it. Peeling them apart. Putting the elbow under. Stepping in the back. We got choking techniques. Takedown techniques from this position. Okay, other alternatives are to create a body space to where you can make a rear attack. Okay, so you can wrap the knuckles, kick to distract, elbows, and create a side body space. Bring them down to the ground. Let's see that one again. Okay, from the ground here, he has much less opportunity to do any kind of damage to you. He can't maintain the power on his bear hug from here. And all you have to do is to scoot around his legs and get your own control of this guy. Notice I've trapped the forearm and the near arm. I can apply an arm locking technique, be it an arm bender or an arm straightener. And that concludes the self-defense requirements for black belt. Now we move on to the atemiwaza technique. The technique we'll be learning today is hook kick. On a hook kick, like any hooking attack, it will be traveling in an arc from your body, not in a straight line. So what you have to remember with the hook kick is to let your hips turn into the kick, let your knee turn into the direction of the kick. All right? And it just follows through with hip action. You can use either the ball of the foot or the instep to kick. So, in this position, if you had an on guard position, right there. The sciatic nerve is just along the outside of the thigh. A good hard kick here will take a man down. And he'll think he broke his knee, but in fact he'll be all right in a couple of minutes. All right, my philosophy on kicks is don't kick above this level unless you have control of the limb on the side you're attacking. Okay, you have to have control of his arm before you kick any higher than the thigh. Okay, the reason for that is traps. Okay, if Ed were to throw a high kick to my rib cage and I trapped it, any good judo man with a person in this position should have no trouble in taking him down. Okay, so keep your kicks low. All right. And use them, again, to distract for other techniques. You know, once you've perfected your hook kick, it can just be used as a lead-in for other techniques. Okay, remember your combinations. Okay, you get hand to hand, okay, hand, foot, all right, foot to hand. Okay, there's many different ways you can mix up your strikes. I recommend that you study boxing and karate in addition to supplementing your judo striking techniques. And that concludes the atemiwaza technique. All right, you're doing great, and this concludes the rank requirements for judo from white belt to black belt in my system. I want to congratulate you again on your progress and your hard work. But remember too, that just watching the tapes isn't enough. If you really want to understand judo, and you really want to learn how to make it work for you, and how good you really are at it, you have to get in with other people. Judo is a social activity. Unlike some martial arts that you can reach a high level by yourself, judo you have to work with others. Okay? Remember, jita kyoi, mutual benefit and welfare. It's real important in judo. So there's going to be information at the end of the tape on how you can contact a club near you. And once again, congratulations, and train hard and have a lot of fun with your judo. I think you're going to really enjoy it.